Sexual assault is defined in a number of different ways. It usually is, or sort of holistically means, some kind of engaging in some kind of sexual behavior, whether it's touching or penetration or a number of other things, some kind of sexual behavior that is non-consensual. So the person that's accused of sexual assault has perpetrated some kind of sexual behavior on another person without that person's consent. In juvenile cases, I would say the vast majority of the cases that I've handled contain some kind of allegation that one or more of the parties involved in the sexual contact or sexual misbehavior were under the influence of alcohol, drugs, or both. In Colorado, it is illegal under our sexual assault law to engage in sexual contact with someone who is what we call incapable of appraising the nature of their conduct. There is no particular blood alcohol content that's associated with being incapable of appraising the nature of one's conduct. It's a gray area in terms of whether someone is incapable of appraising the nature of their conduct, but really this is a fancy way of describing a drunken sex scenario. And we have a lot of cases in our practice that come in the door because someone is accused of engaging in sexual conduct with someone that was under the influence in some way. And so one of the questions in those cases becomes, how drunk was the other person? Intoxicated by alcohol or drugs? And if so, how intoxicated were they? There is a tension between what schools are teaching is okay and not okay versus what the law requires. The law certainly does not say that it's illegal to engage in sexual conduct with someone who has been drinking or who has consumed a drug. The law says that you can't engage in sexual conduct with someone who's incapable of appraising the nature of their conduct, meaning they can't consent because they're not in the right frame of mind to be able to do that. That's a far cry from what we're seeing taught in schools and universities, which is that you shouldn't be engaging in sexual contact or conduct with someone who's had anything to drink or any amount of marijuana or some unlawful substance. Those are two different things, and there's a lot of confusion in the system because of that. Sexual assault cases are very complex, require, in order to be defended against properly, a lot of sophisticated litigation, and someone who really specializes, particularly in the juvenile context, someone who specializes in those cases.